8 months after, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is not going as initially planned. The war was not short and easy, and Russia is humiliated on the world stage. Putin, however, is showing a stubborn determination to win the war at all cost. Desperate, the Russian leader had repeatedly threatened to use the nuclear bomb. So why is Russia threatening the world with nuclear weapons? How could they be used, and what would be the consequences? On the 30th of September 2022, Putin signs treaties officially annexing 4 Ukrainian regions. The annexation was celebrated in Moscow as a return to the motherland of its historical rightful territories. But behind the singing and the cheering hides a painful reality. Russia is losing the war in Ukraine. The war was supposed to be fast and easy, but ended up stretching for months, killing many. The Russian army is helpless, losing on many fronts, as it lacks resources and manpower. Putin is resorting to desperate measures, considered unthinkable at the beginning of the conflict. Buying weapons from North Korea, ordering civilians' mobilization, and making nuclear threats. The annexation of the occupied regions of Ukraine is a further escalation of the conflict. If Ukrainian troops enter these regions, it can be considered an attack on Russian homeland. Putin said he is ready to use all means available to defend Russia, including nuclear options. This could mean a nuclear strike on Ukraine, if Russia is pushed out of the annexed territories. Many believe that Putin would not dare make the war nuclear, but he insists he's not bluffing. Experts said he would not dare invade Ukraine, then that he would not dare call up a draft. Yet he did. A nuclear warfare seems to be the next step of escalation of this conflict by Putin. Russia owns the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, larger than the US in second position. A big part of these weapons are so-called tactical nuclear weapons, or battlefield nukes. Tactical nuclear weapons are designed to be used on the battlefield, often near friendly forces. They are less destructive than strategic nuclear weapons, which are designed to target large cities, but are, nonetheless, much stronger than conventional weapons, to inflict damage to enemy troops. This kind of nuclear weapons would be the most probably used, in case Putin decide to use nukes. Given that Russia wants to annex Ukrainian cities to its territory, it shouldn't destroy them with large nukes. Strategic nuclear weapons mainly kill civilians, and achieve little military objectives. Using them against Ukrainians would only turn the popular opinion against Putin even more. Tactical nuclear weapons, however, could heavily damage Ukraine's army and stop its advance. Putin could also order a high-altitude nuclear explosion over Ukraine, to trigger an electromagnetic pulse. This would disrupt and even destroy all electronic devices in the country, causing a blackout. Another possible scenario would be a nuclear attack just for demonstration effect, meaning that Russia would target an empty or near-empty area, just to scare Ukrainians. A kind of advanced bluff, to pass the message that more could come. Chechen leader Kadyrov pleaded for harsher measures in the war, including use of tactical nukes. And he's not the only one. Foreign Secretary Lavrov said on many occasions that Russia will defend all its territories, including the newly acquired, by all means if necessary. In his last speech, Vladimir Putin assured he's not bluffing when it comes to nukes. He also reminded everyone that the United States set a precedent by using nukes against Japan. The world needs to understand that a possible use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine is not off the table. But how should the world respond? Biden warned Russia of catastrophic consequences if it uses nuclear weapons. One possible result could be NATO ordering a retaliatory strike, making the conflict a full nuclear world war. But even a nuclear attack on a non-NATO force like Ukraine will probably not result in a retaliatory strike. The West could also get intimidated and pull back, but this could embolden Putin and make him aggressive even more. Also, a nuclear strike on European soil will most likely result in a reaction from NATO. The most probable result will be that NATO will provide Ukraine with more weapons. long-range missiles will be provided to Ukraine, and encouraged to use them against Russia. However, this will only result in more escalation, and increase the risk of their conflict becoming global. The only good scenario would be that, contrary to what he says, Putin is actually bluffing about using nuclear weapons in Ukraine.